Okay, we've got the worldometer. This is July 16, 2020. The 7th month of when this bullshit supposedly started. Virtually January the 1st. The bullshit cases, 13 million. I couldn't give a fuck about cases, like I keep saying. Deaths, over 500,000. What I'm going to do, I pointed this out before. I just want to reiterate what I was saying a while ago. I'm not going to worry about these bullshit numbers here in the USA. I've talked about how New York City and Hong Kong, virtually the same population density, same population, and yet New York City's got 23,000 deaths and Hong Kong's got 7. And Hong Kong happens to be 500 miles from Wuhan, whereas New York City is 7,200 miles away. But we'll let that one go. But this one is a little bit more important. I'm going to scroll down. This is by total deaths. As you can see, it gets lower and lower until it actually runs into some places which have 0 deaths. And shock horror, right there, we have countries like Uganda, Mongolia, but here's the big one. Vietnam. Good old Vietnam. You know how, the Vietnam War, and they suffered there in the early 70s. Just go across here, 97 million people. It's a lot of people, 4 times Australia. It's a lot of people. We've got 381 cases. In Victoria yesterday, in Victoria, even in the Melbourne area yesterday, were over 400 cases in 24 hours. In our stinking guinea pig state of Victoria, or maybe just even Melbourne, the city, the capital, were 400 cases more than what Vietnam has had, a population of 97 million, 4 times the population of Australia. What's your math? 16 times more the population of Victoria. And in all of the 6.5 months, all they've come up with is 381 cases. Like I said, I don't give a fuck about your bullshit cases, but the important figure is 0 deaths. That is staggering. Absolutely staggering how Vietnam has got 0 deaths. And if you look at where Vietnam is, there it is here. You can see it in the orange. Well, holus bolus, it borders China. Wuhan is like just over I think it's 1,000 miles away. As compared to New York City up here, 7,200 miles away. So Vietnam, which borders China, has got 0 deaths. Most of these countries here, Bhutan, 0. Mongolia, 0. I can go back and forth and show you more. There's Mongolia. There's Bhutan. There's Macau, the most densely populated region in the world, next to Hong Kong. We've got other places like, Vatican City. Oh, of course. Oh, geez, you can't have the Pope getting the fucking COVID-19, can you? Greenland, Falkland Islands. But anyway, concentrate more on this region here. So this bug, I don't want to hear this shit that someone told me, Vietnam were awake to this early and they closed their borders. Closed their fucking borders? I mean, hang on. What, the bug just stops at the border, does it? You know? It manages to get to all these other places all around the world. You name it, especially good old Australia, in the middle of nowhere. But of course a cruise ship, and Tom Hanks brought that in. 0 deaths in Vietnam. I'll keep reminding, and you got to point this out to people. When you say, it's only 110, whatever, Australians have died in 6 months. But in Italy, so many people died, and in Iran, so many people died. Well, Italy Italy was the place they used to start this bullshit. The Western world, we'll class it as the Western world. They used that to make out, oh, look at all these people dying. And we know the government put out a document saying 99% of people who supposedly died from COVID-19 had either 1, 2, 3 or 4 underlying health conditions that should be reclassified. Oh, but no, look at Italy. People are dropping dead in, what is it, Lombardy, whatever, Lombardy? Yeah, the worst air quality in the world, and they've got respiratory problems like you cannot believe. But we'll use Italy and Iran for the bullshit figures. Don't care that no one's dying in Australia, but it could happen to you because it's happening in Italy. It's not affecting anyone in the usual areas like, South America and Africa and Asia. No, it's not affecting them. Not affecting the third world countries. It's all about the Western countries, United States, the UK. Yeah, we got to push that because they're the ones that are, behind this scam. But Vietnam, mention this to everyone you speak to. 0 deaths in 6.5 months. 97 million people. I'm not sure where that rate's in as far as population. Worldwide, top 20 for sure. But look at it. Look at the size of it. 97 million in that area there as compared to this Australia. 25 million, and we get bullshit cases, and the world's going to end here. But come on. Bordering China, 0 deaths, and I'll point it again just in case. 0 deaths and 381 cases. That is just laughable. That is fucking laughable that a country that size, that population, can have less cases than what Victoria had in the last 24 hours. And this is 6.5 months. Honestly, if you can't just use Vietnam to show that this whole thing is a scamdemic, plandemic, and if you can't show that these morons who believe this shit, going around wearing masks like fucking gullible fucking idiots, even though it's not mandatory, but that's how dumb these people are. Oh, I'll wear a mask, even though it's not mandatory because the government suggested it's a good idea. I mean, what hope have we fucking got, honestly? Keep on singing out Vietnam. I could go to Taiwan. That's another place that's not controlled. And their numbers are really well down. But I, don't want to go too long on this video. But let's have a quick look. Where's Taiwan? There it is. 452 cases. 7 deaths. Taiwan with a population of 23, nearly 24 million. Same as Australia. 7 deaths. It's had the same number of cases as Victoria virtually did in the last 24 hours. Because we know the Victoria cases are all fucking bullshit. They're just taking people in nursing homes that have just about got days to live, putting them in the hospitals, putting them on ventilators. Oh, tested positive for sure. And we might get a few deaths out of it. Honestly, look at that. Taiwan, 452. And look where Taiwan is. Just next to China. Right next to Wuhan. I rest my case, folks. Pass this info on to everyone you can. Vietnam is the word.